questions for us or scenarios?
I never did share about the real estate market.
Oh,
You
that's
made
fine.
fun of me. Oh, I was gonna
Okay, talk.
super interesting market. Like
You want
just
to,
crazy.
you want to talk into the mic or your hand?
Oh, my hand. Got my head in my hand. Well, I showed places this morning. Every day this week I've showed real estate, which
Okay.
is not normal for me. It kind of feast or famine. This week there was people from out of town, showed a lot of places. And fascinating how so few places, and there again, it's the price point, or obviously if there's no budget, it doesn't matter. But you're trying to fit in this window. And so on the selling side, I have a couple listings now, and they're both great listings in a lot of ways. They're both priced very, very sharply. Like they're definitely priced to sell. I'm sure they both will sell. I'm pretty sure. But it's just like this idea of when you're trying to sell, it's amazing how you can't get an offer. Like we haven't got an offer on these listings. I think we will probably in the next week, but it's still tough to sell. And then on the buying side, it's still not that easy. Like it's this weird market right now. It feels like where, a lot of sellers, like I'm thinking of the one place we looked at today, it says motivated seller right in the realtor's notes. So for those of you that look at listings, I don't know if it's like this in other parts of the country, probably is. For sure it is in BC. There's like the description that everybody sees when they click on a link on realtor.ca or wherever they're finding their realtor stuff. And then there's the realtor remarks. And in the realtor remarks as a realtor, we have to post where the measurements are from. Because like you can imagine that over the years, people have posted bizarre whacked measurements.
Yeah.
People have taken measurements and then they did a reno on the house and it's either way bigger or way smaller. And they like go move in and the master bedroom doesn't fit their bed because the measurements are wrong or
Fair
whatever.
enough.
So anyway, so you have to put where the measurements are from. And then the realtor's notes, you can put anything you want and only other realtors see it.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And so like there's a lot of info in there and it's fascinating. Like I had someone with the showing request today for Sunday. I'm like, it says right in the realtor notes, we're not doing Sunday showings. Like people don't read anything, right?
Yeah.
No different than we're all like that, I guess. But
yeah.
so in there, like a lot of times, like lately you're starting to see motivated seller, like we'll consider all offers, right? So you see that. And then on the other side, there's listings coming. I've talked to other agents to have clients like, yeah, if we sell for this, we'll sell. And if we don't, so even if you have a downward trending market, you're going to have certain product, either people that just don't need to sell.
How is that different than a market from 3 years ago?
Because it was order taking. Like it is a grind to sell stuff now. You will list a place. I'm going to list a place. I'll spend thousands of dollars marketing it. And if the people don't, here again, it's back to like if the client doesn't want to lower the price or they're only going to sell for a certain amount, you as a realtor need to have the wherewithal, either to not take a listing, which some realtors wouldn't, or take the listing, spend thousands and not sell it and be okay with that, right?
I went out for lunch with a realtor a couple weeks ago, and he said that do you think there's like 800 realtors in this area, locally or whatever else like that? And
Well, there's probably 300 or 400 just in Chilliwack.
yeah, okay. So he said last year, only 20% sold a place
Yeah, that totally makes
of
sense.
existing realtors. 20%. That was that means like of that 700-800.
I don't know if it's that bad, but it's
yeah, like
for sure 10 or 20% do 80 or 90% of the deals, for sure. I bet you the top 10% of realtors or 5% of realtors do 80% of the deals. And the problem is because houses in 20 years have went from 150 grand to $1 million in Chilliwack where we live, or 900 for sure. The commission is so much that you don't have to do a lot of deals. So that's part of the problem. So then you get a lot of part-time realtors, people that work at Best Buy and then do some real estate deals on the side, right?
Yeah.
So, and there again, I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I mean, it might not be ideal, but it's, maybe you're doing that as you're getting the foot in the door, but it's this idea of, just easy money, but like, it's not that easy because you could list, I don't know if he said that, but like for me, it's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, this guy I talked to, he still did like door knocking and
He's hustling.
He's hustling. And I'm like,
That's
right, you're putting in the work, right? You get results that way. And it reminded me how important hard work is when last year I seen Sarah Toop at she's a local realtor here and I think fairly successful.
She's the number one seller.
Number one seller. Okay, yeah. So she was. I went to a golf tournament. And it was like a Saturday, and it was in the afternoon, and she was at one of the holes. And
Just
I'm like
selling hard.
I'm like, wow, like you're like
aggressive.
number one realtor, and you're grinding here. That's why you're number one realtor. Like you're putting in the work.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's a bit of you see it now, and I can say this because I sell enough stuff, and I've listed stuff high and not sold it, or vice versa. How you list matters. And so like if you are thinking of selling, and I'm probably not your realtor, but you have a realtor, do not go on a fishing expedition. Like just price it where it is going to sell. And if you, by chance, this is everybody's worst fear that they left 5 grand or 20 grand on the table. If by chance you list it too low, you will get multiple offers and it will sell for over asking. I could show 5 examples, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell people, like, if you don't care and you're fine with getting your house ready to show 30 times and have people come through and say it's overpriced and not make an offer, hey, that's fine. It's a free country. But like if you actually want to sell it,
But
price
also, I
it-
think it's your
price
attitude
it
about
sharp.
like, do we want to sell everything for like the max and squeeze every last penny out of every transaction?
Of
Like
course we do.
those people suck to work with.
Yeah, well, they're probably not going to sell their place, or they'll sell it with their third realtor.
No, but that's what I mean though. Like as like, well, I mean, even from a Christian worldview, like you want to just be fair, right? You want to like,
What is fair? Nobody sees the value of their own stuff clearly. My wife's renting her clothes now. She's like, "Oh, everything you have is worth a fortune. Everything else you want to buy is not worth anything." It's not totally true, but a little bit.
your clothes, you said?
No, just everything I want to buy. Like anytime we do a deal, right? She gets so mad at me, right? She's like, "I'm trying to chisel." She's kind of saying I'm in that camp.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's not totally true. I've sold privately. If you sell privately,
My last two homes are sold privately.
yeah, like and I'm not saying it's good or bad, like, but I probably left money on the table when I sold one of the places, but like, who cares? Like, there again, it's back to what you're saying. If you're happy with what you made and you can move on to your next thing,
Yeah, I think it makes the element of greed or element of like I can't get screwed. Like I have to get like the max. Just like
well,
make a fair
in a
deal.
falling, yeah, so in a falling market, like in a bit of a correcting market or a market for sure like this, I think most realtors would agree. I mean, this is a tough market to get a deal. Like, there's a lot of inventory. Like, you will definitely end up selling for less if you have a stale listing, right? And so it's this idea of, hey, if you have a pretty good product, and that's the bigger issue is that, like, I went to show places this week and the paint is like blending into the ceiling, right? And there's lights that don't work and there's no closet doors and there's like sheets hanging and like low hanging fruit, like, you know,
yeah. That
the
doesn't
back,
help.
like it's so like bark mulch, cut grass, pressure wash driveway, fresh coat of paint. Those are all things that you can do for under a couple grand.
And it's also what that value is here. Because my last house I sold it privately because like I knew I had to do a whole bunch of those things, and it was like a rundown house, and I hate the idea of showings, and I hate the idea.
Yeah, and it's and when people come through critical, it just sucks the life out of you, right? Yeah, every single
that
realtor
too, yeah. So for me, it was worth it. Just like, hey, let's
be done with it.
get out of here and sell it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Feedback, send it in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. See you next week.
Have a great week.
See ya. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, bringing the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.